Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Midnight Paint and Body channel. Hey, on this video, the Golden Nugget Trans Am is back, and we're going to start getting her ready for a 1,000-kilometer drag and drive event. So if you're new to the channel, this is my 78 Trans Am. I bought last summer. It had been sitting around 30 years. I did do a series of videos on just kind of the revival of it, getting it going and running, and just basic stuff, brakes and tune-up and stuff it needed. It is, I mean, it's insured now. It's spring. It is a, yeah, it's a good, reliable driver. Yeah, it's rusty, it's rough, but it's awesome. It is a 4-speed, which is why I bought this turd. If it was an automatic, I probably wouldn't have. So it runs good, drives good. It definitely needs some stuff to get it ready for the event. The shaker is off right now because I was having trouble with the float level on the Quadrajet, so I threw on a 750 Edelbrock I had, and it didn't work with the shaker, but I'm going to get that tended to. So one of the first things I'm going to do, car does need a windshield, so got a new windshield there for it, so I'm going to start cutting this one out. Not really going to do any step-by-step or anything on that. I am not a glass guy. I can do them, I'll do them in my own junk. I wouldn't do it in a customer's car because I'm not good enough at it. But that'll be the first thing. And then I think we're going to be working on the trunk floor. I know it, if you did watch the first videos, you'll know the trunk floor was so rusted out. I've actually, one fuel tank strap is fine. The other one had nothing to attach to, so it's actually got a ratchet strap on the fuel tank, but I need to fix that. I don't think we'll get to it in this video, but love it or hate it, I don't care. I'm putting side pipes on this car. So I picked up these vintage Thrush side pipes, which are awesome. So yeah, I don't know if that'll happen in this one, but that one's just kind of sitting there. I wanted to see how it looked. So I will be at some point adding them. So these pipes, like I say, these are, you know, vintage Thrush. They're pretty beat up, but they suit the car because the car is beat up. So I don't have the actual mufflers for them, unfortunately. So what I plan on doing, I'm going to kind of build a new exhaust system just coming off the manifold, and then I'm going to come out. I'm just going to run the pipe down, probably put a Thrush glass pack kind of right inside there, and then run it so it comes out the tailpipe. So I'm just gonna put her together for the look, and it'll sound good, of course. Everything sounds good with Thrush glass packs. So I think I'm gonna start with the windshield. I'm gonna start pulling the trim off, and we'll get going on that. Then I might need to do the phone a friend later and get someone to come help me set the new one in if I get that far. I'm gonna see if there's, you know, if it's rusty in the trough. I'll probably clean that up and prime it first. So anyway, let's get started on that. So if you're working on any of these old cars with stainless trim around the windshield, you need one of these tools. Pretty basic, but they work good. So these just slide in and catch that retainer. When you catch that retainer with the corner, you just give it a little bit of a twist to release it. Now, doesn't that beat modern cars with all their stupid plastic containers that just break? Oh wow, this actually looks really good in there. I'm quite surprised. I thought we were going to have all kinds of rust, but that windshield trough is super clean by the look of it. There's some you know, the typical pine needles and crap, but man, it looks really good. So next thing you need is one of these pull knives. Like most of my tools, this is like the cheapest one you could buy. Made in Taiwan, right on the end. So this part will test every bit of strength you have in your entire body, at least for me. Well, I've always said, don't ever mess with glass guys. That's why they have Popeye arms. Actually, that one wasn't too bad because this is probably just in there with butyl, not urethane. Okay, so there's the old glass out. So I'm just going to trim off all this old crud and we'll start prepping up the new one. So everything's cleaned up, ready for the new windshield. I added a little rust paint in these corners here. It was actually super solid. This is, if you know these cars, these tend to always be rusted out in this corner. This one's really good. You know, it's just a little surface rust, so I just thought I'd paint it black, make it look a little better. So, just waiting for my buddy to stop over, who actually is working on his Nova, getting ready for the same event. So, he said he was going to sneak out for a few minutes to help me set the windshield in. Well, there we are. That was fairly painless. My buddy just came over and helped me set the windshield in. So, put it in, I stuck the chrome back on. Now I'll just let her set. And we'll move on to the next thing. Just gotta decide what that's gonna be. Alright, so rear view mirror's in. Got the windshield trim on that I didn't put on last year because I was waiting until I put a windshield in. Still no headliner, but I'll probably put one in never. So what's next? Sun visors. Let's put some sun visors on. Actually, I don't know if I ever showed you guys this. I was looking for a door panel for this side because this panel was in the trunk of the car, but it had a really small hole somewhere that the mouse had chewed through. I can't remember where it was, But I put a piece of white cardboard behind it, and you can't even tell. It's like brand new. Look at that, it's mint. I work on other people's cars all day, every day, and, you know, things have to be done right and, you know, to the best of my abilities. This car is just fun, so bear with me. It is low to no dollars, and I'm just making it work with what I have. So, where's the sun visors? There they are. Oh yeah, so you can see I started cleaning one. If you watched the last videos on this car, the initial set, all of this interior looked like that. All of the seats, everything was that moldy. It had a lot of moisture in it over the years, and the interior was just kind of all taken apart and piled inside the car. So for what it was, it came out not bad. So I'm going to finish cleaning up those sun visors and stick them on. Okay, so this is just some spray 9 cleaner. Let's just see. I've just got a gray Scotch-Brite pad. Let's see if that kind of... Oh, yeah. Yeah, we can salvage those. Look at that. Well, good morning. It's the next day, Sunday, so I'm back out in the shop. Taking advantage of being Sunday where I can work on my own junk. So yesterday we got the windshield installed, so that's all in, and I installed the trim. So it's like 90% restored, or at least that's what you would call it on the old Facebook marketplace. So I think this morning I'm going to turn my attention to the carburetor. So I think I mentioned earlier, last fall I was having trouble getting the float height just right in the original Quadrajet, which if you go back on the first videos I did on this car, I put a rebuild kit in it. Again, just like the windshield where I said I'm not a glass guy, I'm also not a mechanic. I'm a body man. But, you know, you kind of learn by necessity sometimes, so I've always managed to make stuff work. So yeah, so last fall I threw on this 750 Edelbrock just because I had it. I had to put it on a spread bore or a square bore to spread bore adapter because these old Pontiacs are a spread bore. If you're not familiar, so this is a spread bore carburetor. You see it's got the small primaries and the humongous secondaries, where a square bore is for same size holes, so you need an adapter for the intake. So yeah, I'm going to pull this apart, try and get the float height just right. Not going to record much because, like the windshield, I don't want you to use my information to learn how to do this stuff because I'm not a professional. I'm not even very good at it. But anyway, I'm going to fool around with this carburetor and we'll swap her back onto the car hopefully here in a half hour or so after I adjust this float, and we'll see how she runs. So before I pop this Quadrajet back on, I was just going to show you guys what I was talking about with the spread bore versus square bore carburetor. So you can see square bore primary and secondaries are same size holes. Spread bore, small primaries, big secondaries. So I had this adapter on there to go from square bore to spread bore. Now you can see if you look straight down through that thing, so it angles the direction of the air fuel into the intake. So I think these probably kill a bunch of power, but yeah, what do I know? So, I mean, it worked. It got me by throwing that Edelbrock carburetor on there for a while. So, I'm going to throw this Quadrajet back on. We'll see if this old turd fires up. All right. Let's see if this old turd will fire up. Well, she fired up, but she's just burbling fuel out everywhere. That float shouldn't be stuck. Let's do some... carburetor repair. Not bad. Chatter. Man, look at that windshield. It's like driving a brand new car. Clutch is slipping, but the secondaries feel real good. Clutch is slipping pretty bad. I knew it needed an adjustment. and she stalled. Well. Crap. Oh yeah, she's smogging out that carburetor pretty good, so it tells me there's too much fuel in there. Come on. And it looks like the battery's dead. Well, that sucks. Now I gotta walk home. Well, I thought we were having a successful test drive. And I knew the battery was kind of a piece of crap in this car. Oh yeah, everything's wet. Fuel. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Oh well, there we go. Walk of shame. At least it's close to home. Say hello to the neighbors. Hello, cows. Who says you don't get exercise being a hot rodder? Hello, guys. Hello, you guys. No, you're not going in the truck. Come on. No, you're not going in the truck. Because I gotta leave the truck up the road. Come on, get down. Get down. Poor guy. Poor guy. We'll do that later. Holy moly, got a windstorm going on. No, we're not going in the truck, Dawson. Alright, so let's take the perfectly reliable vehicle. Oh, there's Lizzie pulling her Snoopy act. She likes to be on top of the doghouse, that one. Maybe she's fighting the Red Baron, I'm not sure. Well, let's get some cables on there, see if she's fired back up. Am's running. Let's go drive her back home, which isn't far. So yeah, it's just over-fueling. It keeps getting too much fuel. I mean, when it's running really good. So I'll have to do some more adjusting on that carburetor. I mean, this is a problem I was having before that I thought was float height. I've got the float height set bang on now, I'm sure of it. So it's got to be something else. Well, I'll get her in the shop, walk back, get my truck, and we'll revisit it in a bit. Well, here's the worst thing about kind of tuning carburetors for me is tuning it, not getting it right, and then taking it off, taking it apart all again. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to rip her off. Not a big deal. Adjust that float one more time. Or maybe there's something stuck in the needle and seat because it was definitely over-fueling. So I'll have a look at that and let you guys know what I find. Well, good morning. It's Saturday. It's been a week since we worked on the Trans Am last. So after all that messing around with that Quadrajet carburetor, which I really wanted to run because it pulls a lot better with that carb on this car. It worked great when the car was running, but I just could not get that needle and seat to seal up on it. It's all new. I rebuilt it last year. I don't know enough to keep messing with it. So I put the 750 Edelbrock back on. Car runs just fine. But now, as you can see, she's a little bit up in the air. And I'm going to pull the transmission out and do a clutch. Clutch is ordered. I don't have it yet, but I figured I'll get it apart. And yeah, get the flywheel resurfaced and see what else we need. Rear seal, whatever, just little stuff we can do. So I'm going to start stripping her down. Yeah, by the look of it, it definitely leaks. I don't know if it's ever been out of the car, to be honest. It's pretty nasty. So yeah, I'm gonna start with the drive shaft, shifter. I'm just gonna yeah, maybe I'll bring you guys back periodically for a little look-see under here, but I'm not gonna record a bunch of dirty old wrenching under the car. So here's a quick check-in. Show you guys where I'm at. So transmission is out, drive shaft, cross member, shifter, all that stuff. So next thing will be the bell housing. So that's the easy part. So I'm going to start digging that out of there. I maybe should have put the camera on for some of that, but I never really thought of it. Only took like an hour. Yeah, the only dramatic part was lowering that trans down on a floor jack, but it didn't go too bad. It only fell about 8 inches to the floor. And yeah, that 1978 gear oil in there, it smells bad. All right, so everything is apart. So let's go under here first and have a look at our flywheel, which is got a lot of heat and burnt spots on it. Geez, I don't know how that could have happened. And our clutch disc. So, as you can see, this side definitely worn right down. But then, we are in rivets, and we have completely destroyed that pressure plate. The rivets have gone way into it. Man, this clutch was done. I can't believe it worked. But you know what? That doesn't matter. It's going to be all new stuff. I had fun with it, finishing it off. So, I'm going to start cleaning up some of these parts. I'm going to pull that flywheel off, take it down to get it machined, and then we'll see what's next. Well, I just finished cleaning up the transmission and bell housing. I was using some super clean and my crappy little pressure washer there, and just wasn't getting anywhere, so I just took them out back and sandblasted them. And yeah, that took about 15 minutes, and they're nice and clean now. So I did cover up the vent, the speedo drive, and I was kind of blasting that way, so I'm keeping away from the seals and stuff. So I really don't see, I mean, there's nowhere grit can get inside the machine itself, so that's not a big deal. And the bell housing is what it is, just an aluminum piece. So that's nice and clean. I blasted it inside and out, so it's maybe just be nice putting it back together with clean parts. I mean, clearly it's not a restoration. I mean, look at the car. But yeah, it'll be nice to put it back together like that. All of these other pieces, the trans cross member and the shifter and everything, I'll just clean them all up. Maybe just give them a spritz of black paint before it goes back together, just because it's out. Yeah, and I might even just take a spray bomb of clear coat and hit that transmission and bell housing just so that they clean up easily under the car. So, I've dropped off the flywheel at the machine shop, so that's getting turned. I did order a clutch kit a few days ago, but it was back ordered, so he said probably 2 weeks. So, but that's fine. That gives me time to get other stuff done. So with that being said, I think I will just end this video here before it goes on too long. When we come back, we'll reassemble it with the new clutch. I have to put in a drive shaft loop. Being a stick car, they say you have to have it for this event. The other thing I'm going to be doing is some rough and dirty patchwork in the trunk area. Because if you watch the initial videos on this car, there was nothing, nothing left here to attach a tank strap to on this side, so I actually have a ratchet strap holding the tank up on this side. So I think for the event, I better take care of that, because I don't think that'll pass tech. So I think that is all for now. So yeah, subscribe to the channel if you're interested in seeing the continuation of this fire turd Golden Nugget Trans Am. And then when the event comes closer, it's in June, I'm sure I'll be making a video along the way. Myself and a few buddies are going. We're all driving stick shift muscle cars. It's 1,000 kilometers through British Columbia, 6 different racetracks. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. Hope to see you on the next one.